Hi guys. Let me fix my bun. Let me fix my bun. Because I know somebody gonna say, your bun is crooked. It's crooked. But anyway, how y'all doing today? Okay. So let's talk about this young lady that said, this content creator that said, if you run out of clean underwear, you can clean your underwear in the coffee maker at the hotel room. Okay. With that being said, right? It's cringe. I was watching this other content creator. She cleans everything. I mean everything, from the sheets, the bathroom, even the floor. She mops the floors when she goes to an Airbnb, a hotel, and everything. And I totally get it. I completely get it. She sanitizes, Clorox wipes everything down, from the toilet to the sink to the phone, the dresser, everything. She vacuums the room, all of that. And I completely get it, especially in the light of this other young lady saying that she recommends that you clean your underwear in the coffee maker if you run out of underwear. And her basis was the fact that a coffee maker has steaming hot water and it will sanitize your dirty underwear. But with that being said, I have never used a coffee maker at a hotel because they just always seem dusty, like people just never use it. And so if they're not using it, I'm like, I'm not using that. You know what I mean? Because they're probably not being cleaned properly. If you have cups or glasses that are not already pre-packaged in your rooms, they're probably not cleaning those properly. Unfortunately, the sheets and the linen, the blankets, covers, duvets, and all that stuff, they probably aren't getting clean on a regular basis either. And one thing that I do when I go to a hotel, and I need to start doing the opposite. I need to ask for fresh linen when I go in. But what I do is I completely strip the beds and the blankets and everything before I leave the hotel room. I try to do it as a courtesy to the cleanup people to make it easier for them. And also I just like to make myself feel like I'm adding to the fact that I'm making them actually clean the sheets if they're already on the floor or already outside of the hotel room by the door. When I check out, I just put them by the door on the outside, or I put them right by the door on the floor as I'm checking out. I strip the sheets, the duvets, the covers, the pillowcases, and all of that stuff. But I'm going to also go through a lot of things, or a few things that people use over and over and over again that we never give a second thought about. And you know, it all comes down to sanitation and cleanliness, and actually putting your faith, your confidence, and your trust in other people that they're doing their job, if their job is to actually clean. So some of those things that we don't think about, that we use over and over again, that other people use. Sorry about that, y'all. My phone went dead. But some of the things that we don't think about that we use over and over again are hotel towels. Um, Another thing is, like I mentioned earlier, hotel sheets and covers and things like that, washcloths. Um, if you take the sheets off of those beds, sometimes you'll see that those mattresses can actually be filthy, believe it or not. Mattresses hold so much debris and dirt and bacteria, you wouldn't even believe it. And if you were to take a light, one of those lights that tell you if there's bodily secretions on things, you probably be surprised at what you find. I watched, I forgot the name, it's Hotel something that, you know, the guy, Gordon Ramsay, he does, and he goes into these hotels and he does the little blue light over it, and he sees all of these bodily fluids and stuff that are all over the bedding. But that's a little scary. That's a little scary to know that there are all these communicable diseases going around, and your sheets aren't even being cleaned, and you're going and you're laying on these things, you know. Another thing we don't think about that people actually use over and over again are restaurant utensils. You know, we go in these restaurants, we sit down, we're even in fine dining, you know, sometimes those utensils and even those plates and stuff aren't being cleaned properly. You can still see the food on them. And sometimes what I do is I ask for a cup of hot water, and I put my utensils in that if I'm not able to get plastic utensils, because most of the time I just ask for plastic utensils. But I was watching an episode of the Braxtons one time, and one of the sisters says she actually contracted cold sores or herpes from an unclean fork or utensil from a restaurant. So this is real. And another thing we use over and over again that we don't think about is toilets. You know, sometimes they have the seat covers and stuff like that, but a lot of people don't use the seat covers. They do go and they sit down, and there's a lot of things that, you know, you have to be careful with that. You got to wipe those seats, use the seat covers and all of those things. Hey, Babaloti, how are you? Riviera, how are you all? Good, good. Something else we don't think about, and this is a big one, you know, people often they frown up at things that other people are using, and you know, things like that, but one very big thing that human beings use over and over and over again, and you never give a second thought about it, is medical supplies and medical equipment. Surgical supplies is used over and over and over again. Okay, dental equipment, anything to clean your teeth, to examine your teeth, is used over and over again. In the gynecologist's office, when we go, ladies, and we go and get our pap smears done, these speculum are being used over and over and over. There was actually a report of a young lady getting an STD from an unclean speculum after going and visiting the gynecologist. You know, so we put, like I said earlier, we put a lot of faith and trust into other people that do jobs is in cleaning, and we take a lot of faith in these I forgot the proper term for it, but that these people in the medical field are actually sanitizing the equipment, the medical equipment that's being used on us in our bodies over and over again. So, you know, I just wanted to bring some of those things to light, you know, and we just have to do our best to ask questions to make sure things are as clean as we possibly can. If we can clean it ourselves, we have to do that. But in the light of this young lady cleaning her underwear in the coffee maker, it made me think about all the things we use over and over again, and we put trust in other people to make sure that it's clean and that it's sanitized for it to be used again. So if I miss something that we use over and over again that people don't think about, just drop it in the comments. Let me know what you think about this video. Let me know what you think about the content creator that actually says you can clean your underwear in the coffee maker at a hotel. And let me know what you think about the YouTuber that actually sanitizes the whole hotel room and the whole Airbnb when she takes her family or she goes to stay in one of them. But thank you all for watching and listening. You be safe and take care of yourselves.